Hello, Woodrow Wilson fifth graders, family, and friends. This is Miss Fields here, and you are joining me for our first episode of Math Toolbox. Math Toolbox is going to be a series of instructional videos that I upload every single week that explains a math concept that we reviewed in the previous week of study in fifth grade. So last week we were reviewing how to multiply 2-by-1 multiplication problems in our fourth grade math review. And one trend that I noticed with our fifth graders was that when we were reciting our math facts or we were multiplying using the standard algorithm, that some of our fifth graders stumbled a little bit on remembering how to multiply. Now, what I love about the multiplication chart is that it helps any student multiply accurately every single time. So, for our episode today, we are going to go over how to use a multiplication chart accurately and how to be successful every single time in multiplying using this resource. So on the outside here, we have our factors. So in our multiplication problems, usually there's two factors, and when you multiply them together, you get your product. Now the thing about a multiplication chart is that you don't need to know what the answer to the multiplication problem is. All you have to do is find it. And you find it by finding the product inside of the multiplication chart. So I'm going to model for you how to multiply 3 by 4. Now I want to emphasize here that when you're using a multiplication chart, it is extremely important to actually physically use your fingers. So when I was teaching our fifth graders last week how to use the multiplication chart, some of them wanted to do it quickly, they wanted to do it efficiently, and so they just used their eyeballs. For example, they looked at the 3 here, they looked at the 4 here, and then they just moved their eyes and kind of guessed the product. They said, oh, I think 3 times 4, it seems like it's 9. The problem with that is that if you use your eyeballs and not your fingers, that you may make a mistake. And the whole point of using a multiplication chart is to multiply accurately every single time. And so I highly encourage when you are using your multiplication chart, if you haven't memorized your math facts, use your fingers and you will get the correct product every single time. So how you use your fingers is, with your left hand and with your right hand, you slide in the direction into the multiplication chart. So for example, with the 4, you slide down into the multiplication chart. With your left hand, you slide right until your fingers meet. Now, wherever your fingers meet, that is the answer or the product of your multiplication problem. Now, I want to emphasize again that when you're sliding your fingers, you're making sure that you're moving in a straight line. There's no diagonal movement. There's no curly Q movement. It's always straight. And as soon as your fingers meet, that is where you can find your product. Let's try this with another multiplication problem. So over here, our new multiplication problem is 3 times 6. So you put your finger over here on the factor 3. You put your finger over here on the factor 6. And you slide until they meet in the middle. Now notice here, guys, my arrows don't completely show where you're going to be sliding. So I want you guys to actually try this out. Pause the video, put your finger on 3, the factor 3, put your finger over here on the factor 6, and I want you to slide your fingers. What's the product? Now if you slid your fingers all the way, and you didn't get crazy and start doing some diagonal movement, you went perfectly straight from the 3 over here, perfectly straight from the 6 over here, your product should be 18. Now I promise you, if you slide your fingers straight, you will get the correct product every single time. Remember, no eyeballing, use those fingers so that you can get the accurate product. Let's try another one. So over here, we've got a new problem, which is 6 times 3. Again, notice I don't have any arrows here. I want you guys to actually physically try this. Pause the video, put your finger on the factor 6, put your finger on the factor 3, and slide until your fingers meet. what product do you get? Now, if you took your time to slide your fingers accurately, straight down and straight over, your product should be 18. I know this was a quick video, but multiplication charts are seriously one of my favorite resources to use in math. They will set you up for success every single time when you are multiplying multi-digit numbers, or even when you're dividing and trying to find the product within the standard algorithm for dividing. So please use this strategy and check out the videos for the rest of the year. I'm so glad that you joined me today, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Have a nice night.